All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining every single day and giving your sweet association. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashumati Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day, chanting so beautifully. Welcome to the call. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. It's very nice to see you. This is Preeti Vilasni Dasa from Atlanta.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasni Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for always allowing us to do the services. Welcome to the call.
It's all yours.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and the assembled devotees. This is Revati from Atlanta, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Revati Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day for chanting and today's first chapter reciting. Very grateful to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Oh, okay.
Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Okay. We will chant for another minute and then we will wait for Prabhuji to join. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Ram
Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Ram, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare.
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram
Hare Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna.
Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Prabhuji has joined the call. I'll start the recording, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Before we start the class for today, I would like to read Srila Prabhupada's quote for today. 22 August. Energy is always kept on the left side. Radharani is on the left side of the Lord, and similarly, Lakshmi ji is also on the left side of the Lord. We are also marginal energy, not exactly like Radharani or Lakshmi ji. So we should keep ourselves always on the left side of the Lord and let us act as his arms or army. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Ramgiridhari Prabhu to enlighten us on the topic of Caitanya Bhagavat Madhya Khanda, chapter 2, 252 to 268. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you Prabhuji for joining and giving you a valuable time and association on this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Caitanya Bhagavat. I now hand over the call to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. So we will read the shloka and translation and then we'll get into the context. Nirbaye chahe na charitike vishwambaram. Gangara sundara shota pulina sundaram. Vishwambara fearlessly looked around and saw before him the beautiful flowing Ganges and its charming banks. Dhabi eka yuta dheke puline te chare. Hambaravakari aishe jalakai bhare. He saw nearby a herd of grazing cows who were lowing as they came to the river bank for drinking water. Urdhva puchakari keha chaturdike dhaya. Keha yuje keha suye keha jalakaya. Some of the cows raised their tails and ran about. Some of them fought each other. And some laid down and some drank water. Ekiya garjaye prabhu kare hunkara. Muni sei bhale bare bharam. On seeing this, the Lord repeatedly thundered, I am he, I am he. Yei mata dana gela Srivasera Ghare Ikari Srivasiya Balaye Uhunkare. In that mood, the Lord rushed to Sriva's house, where he loudly exclaimed, O Srivasa, what are you doing? Nashima Pujaya Srinivasaya Igare Punah Punah Lati Mare Tahara Duyare. The Lord repeatedly kicked on the door of the room in which Srivasa was worshipping Nrsingadev. Kahare puji skari skara dhyanam Yahare puji stanre dhek vidyamanam. Who are you worshipping? Who are you meditating on? Look, he whom you are worshipping is standing before you. Jwalanta anala dheke Srivasa Pandita Ahila Samadhi Bhanga Chahe Chari Pita. Srivas Pandita saw a blazing fire and his meditation was broken. He opened his eyes and looked around him. Eke virasane vasi ache vishwambharam Chaturbhuja Shanka Chakra Gada Padmadharam. He saw Vishwambara sitting like a hero and holding conch, disc, club and lotus in his four hands. Garjite achayena matasimhasaram Vamakakshe tali diyam Karaye hukunkaram. The Lord continually roared like an intoxicated lion as he slapped the left side of his stomach. Dekiya haila kampa Srivasa sharire Tabda haila Srinivasa kichu inasture. On seeing him, Srivas Pandita began to tremble and became completely speechless. Hakiya balaye Prabhu are Srinivasa etadhina na jhani zamara prakasha. The Lord said, O Srinivasa, all these days you did not know about my appearance? Tora Ucha Sankirtana Nadara Hunkare Chadiya Vaikunta Ainu Sarva Parivare. By your loud chanting and nadas roaring, I left Vaikunta and came here with my associates. Nishchinte achaha tumi more na janiyam Shanti pure gela nada amare idiyam. You are living unconcerned without recognizing me. Anada has avoided me by going to Shantipura. Sadhu uddhari mu dushta vinashi mu sabam Tora kichu chinta nai pada morastava. I will deliver the saintly persons and destroy the miscreants. Do not worry, offer prayers to me. Prabhu re dekiya preme kande Srinivasa Guchila antara bhaya paya ashavasa. On seeing the Lord, Srivas cried out of love. He became fearless on receiving the Lord's assurance. Harishe Purnita Haila Sarva Kalevara Kanda Iyastuti Kare Yudi Duikara. Srivas' entire body was filled with ecstasy as he stood up with folded hands and began offering prayers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakayam Chakshurun Militam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padayam Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedantam Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanyam Prabhu Nityanandam Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, the context that we are in here is when the nocturnal Kirtan was picking up every day. Mahaprabhu, along with Mukundam, Srivas Thakur, and other associates, when he was performing the Kirtan, the atheists and the neighbors were really started to complain. And they started to gossip amongst themselves, saying, somehow this guy has to be punished. In fact, the entire conversation, they were exchanging each other's notes to say how Nimai as well as Srivas both need to be punished. One person is saying, let's initiate. Another person is saying, don't worry, the king has already got the message and is coming at this team to punish. So all these things are happening. They are thinking, this is some kind of a bachelor's party or family party that is happening. So they didn't realize what they were getting into. Krishna is all pervading personality. Through his various multifarious energies, he is present within us, he is present outside of us, he is present above us, and he is constantly thinking about his dear devotees' welfare. There are three natures of the Lord which are highly inseparable from the Lord, and only Vaishnavas can understand that. Of course, the Lord has got several wonderful qualities, but we are just in this context going to list around the three wonderful, unique qualities. Number one, the Lord is constantly thinking about the welfare of his dear devotees. He can go to any extent to protect and look after his devotees. He don't mind tarnishing his name. He don't mind breaking the promises that he gave. He don't mind that in the process of protecting his devotees, if any inconveniences would come, he wouldn't mind if he lands up in becoming their subservient servant. His heart is only or primarily thinking about looking after his dear devotees personally. There is a very interesting story in Gita Mahatmya where there was a Brahmana by name Arjunacharya, who had the habit of regularly studying Bhagavad Gita. So one day he came across the words Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Yejana Paryupashate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Pahamyam. Where the Lord says, I provide what my devotee lacks, I personally look after them. So Arjunacharya thought that, what is mean by personally look after? He would send some agent, he would send some situations, he will alter some things, but how is it personally looking after? So he kind of made a red mark on that particular shloka saying that something is wrong here. And he went for his regular Madhukari. Usually when he goes out, he always gets the necessary attention from all the grihasthas. They used to look after him, feed him very nicely, or provide all the ingredients to look after him and his family. On that particular day, nobody gave him anything. They had some reason or the other. One person said somebody is sick in my family. One person said we are out of station. One person didn't even open the house. So he had a very unique situation. That day he came empty-handed. He was almost coming back empty-handed, thinking that how he will maintain. Those days Brahmanas never used to have, I presume the understanding is that never used to have the propensity to build balances, because they know that they will be looked after by the other classes of the society. So they will only keep what is barest minimum for their daily survival and lead a very simple but austere and purifying life. In the meanwhile, a Brahmana boy carried a truckload of so many food ingredients and personally carrying, he came home and told Arjunacharya's wife, saying that, my dear mother, these are all ingredients that your Prabhu had asked me to deliver at your home. Please accept them. And she was surprised. She wasn't sure that who this boy was, and she asked several questions. The boy very sweetly convinced her that it is her husband who had all these collections, and he asked the boy to deliver. And the boy further said, because I was a bit slow, or maybe I was not doing the given task correctly, you see on my back, your husband has gave a whack on my back. So the lady got really concerned. Oh my God, you are such a small boy. It's very unusual of my husband to behave like this. You stay back here, let my husband come. I will ask him why he had treated you like this. The boy was waiting. Suddenly when the Prabhu came, Arjunacharya came, this boy interestingly sneaked out, vanished. And when he came bit of dejected and expressed to his wife, looks like today is a day of fasting for us. Nobody gave us anything. So Arjunacharya's wife asked, what are you telling Swami? Look at all these groceries and ingredients that are lying down here. We will discuss where did you all get them later. But why did you make this young boy carry all this load? And poor boy, you are beaten on his back. Arjunacharya said, which boy? What ingredients? I am telling you, nobody gave anything. You are saying so many ingredients. Where did this all come from? Which boy you are talking about? Then she narrated the entire story and Arjunacharya realized what has happened. He collapsed, started crying, weeping. And when he went to check, when he checked the shloka, the red mark was already gone on the shloka. This is part of Gita Mahatmya's description, initial story, which to establish that Krishna is constantly ready to personally look after his dear servants. If for some reason Krishna is very busy, then Krishna's dearest servants are ready to look after Krishna's servants. Like Srimati Radharani, she is considered as the topmost servant. Giriraj, considered as topmost servant. So all the dearest servants of the Supreme Lord, they go one notch up than the Supreme Lord to look after devotees. So my first reflection in the current context is, three qualities of the Lord are very unique, inseparable, and they are amazing. Which is, number one, the Lord personally looks after his dear devotees. Number two, the Lord cannot tolerate the insult to a devotee. Number three, the Lord is highly impartial, but when it comes to devotees, his dear devotees, he is highly partial. So we will discuss these three as the first reflection in this current context, because Nimai, knowing all the dynamics that are happening around, knowing the envious nature of the people surrounding Srivas Thakur's house, he is already preparing himself to set the tone of what is going to come ahead. This is not the first time that the Lord has done to reveal his true identity, to protect his dear devotees. Narsinghadev, in case of Raghunandan Thakur, he was half eating laddu and appeared in front of him to give his special blessings to his devotees. The Supreme Lord is eager to find an opportunity so that he can do something special for his dear devotees. He is very eager. He is somehow or other instigating his dear devotees to ask something from him so that he can give and derive pleasure. Somehow he gets unlimited happiness if he has to serve his devotees. In case of Pandavas, in every calamity when they were in, we can list unlimited circumstances. So this part of the Lord's nature is explained here to give us hopes, to give us inspiration, and to let us focus on the right areas of devotional life and not waste our time in some useless things. Like how a parent would be very happy to personally look after the children. They love their children, supposed to be. Nowadays, the scenario is slightly changing, unfortunately. But otherwise, generally, the parents have got unlimited love for their children. For their children, they can go any extent to look after them. Of course, the modern education system, modern era, the emotions are shifting away. I'm talking about a general ideal devoted family. So Nimai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, knowing that all the scenarios are coming, he is going and telling Srivas Thakur, never be afraid. I am there for you. You have been praying. Nada had been praying. Nada here refers to Advaita Acharya. You guys have been praying, calling, brought me down. Know that I will protect my devotees and I will annihilate the miscreants. If anyone is going to disturb my devotee, I will not going to tolerate that. So 3 unique, wonderful qualities of the Lord is about how he is so much in love with his dear devotees that anyone who comes in the way of, his relationship with devotees, or anyone comes in the way of harming a devotee, he is not going to spare them. And finally, the point is, he is generally Samadarshi. He is equipoised, but he is highly partial towards his dearest devotees. So Srivas Thakur was recipient of such a love. Navadip Vasis who loved Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were recipient of such a love. Sachi Mata was recipient of such a love. And by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we are also a recipient of such a love. We are yet to see the result of it, but we are receiving such a love. Shipram bhavati dharma atma sasvat chantim digacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. The Lord is roaring, telling Arjuna, go and boldly declare, my devotee never perishes. Nothing will happen to my devotee. I will personally protect. I will look after them. So don't mess around this aspect, because the Lord is very sensitive in this area. Anyone who comes and disturbs, it's like, if you go and touch a calf in front of, his mother, how much ever the cow must be weak and timid. When anyone is coming to disturb the cow will, come to attack you. The same is dog, the same is, all mammals. It's a natural affinity. When Krishna is our parent, he will look after us. We understand the part of how Krishna is very much attached to his devotees, at least by theoretical conversation. We also understand how the Lord gets really ferocious when a devotee is disturbed. But how to understand the Lord being impartial and highly partial? I've shared this several times in the past. I'll repeat again here. The Lord is Samadarshi, impartial to everyone. At the same time, he is highly partial. By looking at this example, we will be able to explain this phenomenon. A teacher is trying to conduct a session, maths session, a specific subject in syllabus in maths. Examinations are approaching. A classroom of 60 children. The teacher is telling everyone, boys and girls, we have exams coming round the corner. So I am ready to conduct special class on this Saturday. You are welcome to come to the class and get your doubts clarified. On Saturday, Out of the 60 people, 30 of them only came. 30 did not come. The teacher conducted the special class. At the end of the special class, the teacher said, if you still have any questions, you can reach out to me, come to my house, I can solve your doubts. Incidentally, 6 students went to the house. The following day, Monday morning, when the teacher came to the class, it is but obvious the teacher's attention is towards those 6 enthusiastic, inquisitive, eager children. And subsequently to the 30 of them who came to the special class. And what if everybody who did not come start to say that the teacher is partial? Was she partial? Yes, she was. But was she really partial? No, she wasn't. Offer was made to everyone. Invitation was given to everyone. You can call her partial only when, if she had said, all of you who are all from a rich family, please come. All of you who are all, male boys, you come. If she says like that, then we can understand she was partial in her invitation. Her invitation was open to all. She didn't have any restriction. So what the Lord is saying is, I am making this offer to everyone. Please come and subscribe to the life of spirituality. And if anybody shows interest, Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschit Yadadi Siddhayet Yadatam Api Siddhanam Kaschit Mam Vedi Tatvataha. Out of several men who are showing interest in coming closer, only few will understand because of their seriousness. So that is why the Lord is simultaneously impartial and also partial. So in this case, even though the Lord's responsibility is look after all the prajas, but here he is revealing his form, unusually coming and behaving, knocking, banging at the door of Srivas Thakur and say, hey Srivas, whom are you worshipping? This earlier he did it to the Brahmana who came to perform the Shaligram Puja at Jagannath Mishra's house when Nimai was a small baby. So the Lord is trying to reveal. In fact, he wanted his devotees to recognize him, know him, love him, be with him. Sridhar Maharaj, Prabhupada's disciple, used to say this. The Lord is especially attached to certain devotees, so much so that in their company, the Lord is completely in an intoxicated state. And he was referring to Srimati Radharani and her associates. He very beautifully explained that how just Srimati Radharani's top cloth, pallu, when it touches the Lord's body, just not even Srimati Radharani's body, Srimati Radharani's top cloths, a portion of them when it touches Krishna, Krishna used to get goosebumps. What to speak of Srimati Radharani touching and what to speak of she embracing him and, having a union with him. So the Lord is so much attached. In Padma Purana, he is telling to Arjuna, my dear Arjuna, the sun, stars, moon, this universe is existing because of my devotees. What to speak of all of them, even I exist because of my devotees. So my first reflection is, I want to, strongly state that how the Lord is very eager, sitting at the edge of the seat as a maddened person who is mad after something. the Lord is completely mad after his dear devotees and he is constantly stalking them, making sure they are safe. If not, he is immediately available for their rescue. So hence, Bhajahure Manam Shri Nandanandanam Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Just anybody who has taken shelter of Shri Nandanandana, anybody who sings the glories of Shri Nandanandana, Abhaya Charanara Vindare. They need not worry about anything. Fear no more. This is my first reflection. It is the nature of the Lord. So, as a practicing devotee, when we keep hearing about these wonderful pastimes, how all the Lord is ready to rescue his dearest servants. When Hiranyakashipu wanted to kill Prahlad Maharaj was pitted in, below the ground to an extent that only his neck was, left outside. Both his hands, with which he used to, fold his palms and pray, they were also buried underneath. He could hardly move. And the Hiranyakashipu had asked a mad elephant, to stamp on Prahlad Maharaj's head. Prahlad Maharaj, even though in such a precarious condition, he is calling out, saying, "You have been delivered by the Supreme Lord, my dear friend." He is reminding about Gajendra Moksha. So have you forgotten the Supreme Lord who delivered you is my master also? By you coming and killing me, what are you trying to establish, Baba? So the elephant which was sent to kill, the mad elephant which was sent to stamp on Prahlad's head, came, circumambulated Prahlad Maharaj 3 times and went. So the Supreme Lord is such a wonderful, wonderful arrangement that he has given, that he has pampered. He pampers his devotees. Go out of the way, break rules, change his universal law, tell lies, apparently, do tricks, make diplomatic dealings, if it means protect his devotees. So in this case, Caitanya Mahaprabhu is assuming the form of Narsinghadev, taking a ferocious form. Just because he saw Ganges, he saw cows, he saw the scene of Vrindavan. At the same time, he saw some people are accusing Vaishnavas. He came to his true self, started to very boldly proclaim, please note that I am the one, I am he, I am he. Please don't worry and don't waste your time with all these pujas. Worship me. And Vrindavan Das Thakura is explaining, the Lord is sitting in the posture of a virasana. Virasana means left leg on the right thighs, right leg on the left thighs, and holding one hand upwards, proclaiming authentically, emphatically, and is kind of making a statement to the whole world, saying that watch out, my dear friends, you are touching some untouchable territory. Very nice. So we are all very much capable, eligible apparently, and blessed to be part of that territory. We are somewhere in the brink of it as of now. But if we keep progressing, performing our devotional service nicely, the Lord will take us inside. The second reflection is about how a Vaishnava is an extremely simple person. In just the previous sloka, it is explained, verse number 51, 50 or somewhere, that Srivas Thakur started believing everything. Whatever these rumors that were happening, whatever people were, kind of, the Vaishnava is so simple. Somebody said this, what is so attractive in a Vaishnava that the Lord likes them? Gaur Govind Maharaj says, simplicity is Vaishnavism. The Vaishnava is as simple as a small child, innocent, without any duplicity or diplomacy in the heart. Srivas Thakur was such a wonderful person. So the second reflection is about these simple Vaishnavas. They fear for few things. They don't fear for few things. And this is some important lesson for us also. Definitely as a devotee, as a practicing devotee, we are supposed to be fearless. But we are also supposed to have some fear. So what are all those things that a Vaishnava, a simple child like a Vaishnava, is fearless about? Number one, defame because of his connection with the Supreme Lord. He is not worried. Number two, demands and pressure from the society to behave in a particular way. Many a times devotees are under the stress because more than what we want, the society expects us to behave in a particular way. But a Vaishnava is fearless about it. At the same time, he is sensitive, but he is fearless to know that I have a principle to follow and he will not compromise the principle without being fanatic. And the third is talking about the Lord and serving him boldly. No fear. Same time, they are afraid of few things. Offenses to the devotees, evil effects of Maya, association with worldly minded persons, demoniac qualities, they are afraid of. That's intelligence. When you know it's fire, stay away from fire. Otherwise, you'll get burned. So my second reflection is about how Srivas Thakur exhibited highest level of simplicity to the extent that he didn't even find anything suspicious in the people's rumors. Not that we should treat Vaishnavas into a foolish category. They are not foolish. They're simple because the worldly matters doesn't entertain them. So they just accept them on the face value, or at least, not process as much as they are supposed to be. And that simplicity attracts the Supreme Lord. And with that simplicity, They know where to fear for, what not to fear for. So as a second reflection, we are discussing how in our practicing Krishna conscious journey, one need to learn to fear for the Supreme Lord's devotees, in the sense that we are not supposed to offend them, fear for associating with Maya, fear for demoniac qualities, fear for association with worldly minded persons. The third and last reflection is that unless and otherwise the Lord reveals himself, unless and otherwise the Lord comes and presents himself, one cannot understand the Lord by one's own endeavor. Having said that, our sadhana bhakti, our consistency in practicing in Krishna consciousness is supposed to be maintained, but the Lord revealing about himself is his absolute prerogative. If the Lord wants to reveal himself, if the Lord wants to show who he is, he has done that many times, both in his own personal form as well as through various situations. Whether it is Narsinghadev pastime, whether it is Dhruva Maharaj's pastime, whether it is Raghunandan pastime, whether it is Pandava's scenario, whether it is the case of the Brahmanas in Srirangam when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and saw, the case of Vasudeva, the devotee who had leprosy disease, the case, so many situations the Lord has appeared in front of his devotees. So many circumstances the Lord. So basically, Rupa Goswami Pad is explaining in Nectar of Instruction, just because I am chanting 16 rounds, following 4 regulative principles, and doing some devotional service, I cannot dictate the Lord to appear. At the same time, devotional service is the only process which attracts the Supreme Lord. Krishna Akarshani. So it is a simultaneously 1 and 2. This is a Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva point. So we can't dictate the Lord. We cannot control the Lord both ways, to appear in front of us as well as to withdraw himself. So in case of Srivas Thakur here, he saw blazing fire. She didn't see that form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu before. Very soon we are going to discuss about how the Supreme Lord's nocturnal kirtan is going to become a very big public event, and how the Sankirtan mission is going to explode, because the Lord has come down to perform the Sankirtan mission, and the Sankirtan mission that the Lord is performing is not some temporary agenda. His Sankirtan mission is a glorious strategic agenda. And anyone who's coming in the way of Sankirtan mission, the Lord would not spare. We know the story of Nair in Radha Rasa Bihari temple. If you have not known this, please read Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita under Mumbai section. There's an entire set of narration where how Srila Prabhupada was given a hard time by the landlord of the Juhu temple, and how eventually when Srila Prabhupada got the property, he was highly relieved, and he kind of said, he kind of wished that the Rakshasa died. So my third reflection is that how the Supreme Lord, when he appears, when he reveals himself, he also gives us the intelligence to see him. Because you can't see the Lord by your own naked eyes, but you have to be empowered. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even though he was Krishna himself, he was walking around like an ordinary small boy. Everybody could even go up to the level of claiming himself, claiming that Nima is a great devotee. But on specific occasions, during the manifested Leela, Mahaprabhu revealed who he was. He showed his Shadabhuja form to Ramananda Rai. He showed his special, unique form to Kolevecha Sridhar, to Srivas Thakur. During Pani Hati Chiddadahi festival, he showed his unique form, invisibly visible form to Raghunath Das Goswami and various other pastimes. And whoever practically comes in contact with the Supreme Lord, they are completely maddened. Case of Jayadeva Goswami, case of Arjunacharya, about whom we spoke. So the idea is that in our Krishna consciousness, hence, our aim and goal is not to attract the Lord. Our aim and goal is to simply love the Lord. Our aim and goal is to simply, submit ourselves to the Supreme Lord. Yesterday I was giving a Bhagavatam class and we were discussing how Srila Prabhupada is giving a wonderful translation. This is 6.9.38 shloka. Srila Prabhupada writes about the Paramatma aspect of the Lord. He's starting the translation saying that with deliberation, one can easily understand that everything is sustaining because of the Supreme Lord. So we were discussing about this word deliberation. So if we all deliberate, properly analyze, properly evaluate, introspect, it is but impossible to miss the Lord. What is this deliberation all about? Right set of questions, with the right set of people, with the right set of attitude, for a right set of purpose. Srivas Thakur being such a simple soul, he went inside the house and he is praying. When Srivas Thakur's son died, he didn't want to disturb the kirtan that Mahaprabhu was performing. He's so simple, he's so surrendered. To an extent that the Lord is giving kind of equality or kind of a recognition to them, saying that you guys called me here, I would have not come otherwise. You screamed, Nada screamed, he kept on praying. Now you are ignoring. Lord doesn't like that. Because he has come on his own free will, revealing himself. All the other days he was not visible. But when he wanted us to see him, he showed us. So he is simultaneously present and not present. He is present for some people, not present for some people. In the Mahabharata war, what Krishna showed to Arjuna, Duryodhana did not see. What Prahlad saw in Hiranyakashipu, what in Narsinghadev, Hiranyakashipu did not see. And what Srivas Thakur is showing, not many people saw. It is only because Srivas Thakur narrated that the Lord showed the Narsinghadev form. Narsinghavamana Shri Madhusudanam Brajendra Nandana Shyama Utanagatana Kaitapashadana Jayada Sharati Rama Udila Aruna Urababage Vijamani Gaura Manijage. Both the songs. Vibhavari Shesha, Udila Aruna, both the songs put together, it is completely saying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming and roaring everywhere. Wake up, sleeping souls. Wake up, sleeping souls. I have come to give you holy name. He is coming and offering himself. And to those who have accepted him, he is revealing himself. He is revealing who he is actually. That is why Vasukosh is writing, Jai Gaura, say Krishna, say Jagannath. Here he is the same one who came to kill Ravana. He is the same one who is in the form of Srimati Radharani's mood, has come down to spread the holy name. He is the one who is staying in Nilachal. And if we have a little deliberation, little extra perspective, little extra thinking, we will be able to recognize him. If we are not able to recognize him, it is only because of 5 reasons, and I will stop with that. Number 1, over familiarity. Number 2, overconfidence. Number 3, self-centered nature. Number 4, extended attachment to our own ideologies. And number 5, ignorance. I have an elaborate discussion on this 5 parts, which I have once discussed here, but I just want to stop and say that in spite of all this knowledge, we are not able to see the Lord. He is around. With deliberation, it is his touch. It is his resources, his energy. It is all that we are enjoying belongs to him. And if we do not have the necessary deliberation to understand it this way, we are the losers. And if you analyze why we are not able to understand, it's because we are too much familiar. To this process that we don't even have faith in this process. We are overconfident about our position that we tend to be lax. They are self-centered in nature. Always self-obsessed. I can do, I will be able to do it. I am the beneficiary, I am the enjoyer, I am the doer. Prakriti kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasa ahankara vimudatma kartagamiti manyate. Extended attachments to one's ideologies. People have their own ideologies. They do not want to buy and borrow in ideologies from others. They always want to have opinions. And obviously ignorance. So I would like to summarize our conversation here that we had 3 sets of reflection. The first set of reflection is about the unique nature of how the Lord has got so much attachment towards his dear devotees that no one can comprehend the quantum of his attachment. In fact, he loves them. He personally looks after his dear devotees to an extent that these 3 qualities of the Lord are so unique. Number 1, how he loves and wants to serve his dear devotees personally. Number 2, how he does not tolerate anything happening against his devotee. And number 3, that in general he is equipoised, but he is highly partial towards his devotees to an extent that he can even break every possible commitment and law or situations if it means to protect his devotees. And second reflection that we had is about how a Vaishnava with a simple heart, with a simplicity, he or she becomes fearless, at the same time dovetail their fear towards their devotional journey. Prahlad Maharaj was absolutely fearless, but at the same time he was very careful in practicing his devotional life, not to mix up his devotional sentiments with his family sentiments. He had all the respects for his father, but he never obeyed him because it was against the spiritual principles that he understood from Narada Muni when he was in the womb. And the third and last reflection is about how in our devotional journey, the Supreme Lord is kind of helping us. The Supreme Lord is trying to kind of making sure that uh, we are nicely looked after. He is kind of communicating and revealing himself that I am he, I am that person. It is his prerogative to come and reveal to his dear devotees and make them, get bonded with them. So in our devotional journey, we need to only work towards the principles and the path laid out by our Vaishnava Acharyas. A day will come where we will be able to realize, recognize Krishna's hand. Krishna is really amongst us, around us, within us, and for us. Just that we are not able to recognize him, and in some special cases, he has come forward when he could not control himself. In this scenario, the current context, he is coming out roaring like a lion and trying to scream and say that, hey, never, worry. He says that I will deliver the saintly persons and destroys the miscreants. Do not worry, offer prayers to me. Sadhu udharimu tushta vinashimu sabha tora kichu chinta nai pada monastava. So Mahaprabhu is very boldly, strongly saying, and the saddest part is, in spite of all of those things, he is still not able to see Krishna's hands because we have less deliberation. And the reason of why we are not able to see Krishna around is, number one, familiarity, number two, overconfidence, number three, self-centeredness, number four, having extended attachment towards one's own ideologies because of his ego, and last but not least is about one's own ignorance. So we pray at the lotus feet of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the followers of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be kind upon ourselves so that we don't fall prey to these vices and we are able to take advantage of the Lord's unique nature and try to love him and eventually command his attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Chaitanya Bhagavat ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. If there are any questions, comments, reflections, critiques, we can discuss.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji, for such a beautiful class and explaining how great is Krishna's love. Krishna is always eagerly waiting to help his devotees, and he's always there with his devotees. So nice, Prabhuji. So beautifully explained. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If anybody having any questions, realizations, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranams and glories to Prabhupada. Thank you for the beautiful reflections, Prabhu. Always you chant the verses so wonderfully, make us realize and come to the right contact. So, yes, that's a confusing verse that Lord is impartial, Lord is partial. But yes, Lord says that devotees, for those who are in me, I am in them. Yeah. I really like that point about bringing both. That's one of the beautiful quality of the Supreme Lord, that he always takes care of his devotees. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Really, really grateful to you for your wonderful session. I don't have any question as such, but appreciated your wanted to bring up this point. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
All glory to Prabhupada. In fact, the more we get to hear how the Lord is partial to devotees, we can at least develop the sense of attachment towards the Lord and try to long for such a, let the Lord be partial to me. I mean, not in a manner to an order supplier. When will the day come? Kabe habe bolo, Sevi nama, Aparada, Ruchi, Suddha Name, Kripa bole, Kabe habe sanchar. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Very true, Prabhu. Very true. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Anybody having any questions or realizations, please go ahead. Okay, if there are no more questions or realizations, we can close the call here. Thank you, Prabhuji, once again for making us, understand how great it is always, how good for us to always be surrendering and following all the regulatory principles and surrender to Guru and Krishna. That is always safe for us, and it will always be in the protection of Krishna. Whatever we are in material situation, but Krishna will definitely help us, provided we are faithfully serving him. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a beautiful class. I would like to offer my obeisances to you and all the Vaishnavas assembled on the call. Vancha kalpatarobhyasya kripa sindhu bhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnav vrind ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Grace Ramgiridhari Prabhuji ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you everyone for
Hare
joining
Krishna,
today's
Prabhuji.
class. We'll